Flambeau Radio
Flambeau Radio.
sparks knowledge, ignites skills, sphere of flame that forges learning.
Flambeau Radio.
99.9 megahertz in your radio dial. You are tuned in to Flambeau Radio, the campus radio of the Isabela School of Arts and Trades, the prime mover of TechVoc education in the Cagayan Valley region. Now connecting to the community via sound waves to expand its reach to the 21st century learners.
Flambeau Radio.
Is a channel that broadcasts lessons of the Department of Education to enrich teaching and learning process, hoisting the flagship of enduring education, believing that our future rests on the hands of our youth. Flambeau Radio.
Flambeau Radio. At your service in education.
Good morning, my dear 21st century learners. How are you today? I pray everyone is doing great and safe. Just stay home and always stay tuned for more lessons in our program Learning Today. Only here at 99.9 MHz Flambeau Radio. Once again, this is Teacher Nichar, your radio teacher in oral communication. Before we begin, make sure that you have with you your module, pen, learning notes, and other essential materials you need for the entire duration of our learning episode. Let's get started. By the way, senior high school learners, we are now on the 4th week of our learning episode. We are still on Module 3 because it has 2 lessons. In Lesson 1, you have learned the concept of communication breakdown and its causes. Today, you will find out how this breakdown of communication can be avoided. First, let's have a recap of your lesson last learning episode. Let us recall the different barriers to communication. Please key in your answers in our chat box. You can also send your answers in our official group chat. Oh, it's nice to know that you remember so well the different barriers to communication. You will be needing this knowledge so you can apply what you will learn from our next lesson in your daily communication lives. So, are you ready for our new topic today? Yes, you are. Now, kindly turn your module to page 17. In today's learning episode, we shall talk about the various strategies to avoid communication breakdown. After today's learning episode, you are expected to use appropriate strategies to avoid communication breakdown and achieve the goals of relationship and community building. Are you ready? Let's dive in, my dear learners. For your first activity, which is found in your module on page 17, the directions say, list down 2 to 3 situations based on your What I Can Do activity in Lesson 1, in which communication breakdowns were experienced at home, school, and community. Then, suggest one best strategy to avoid that communication breakdown. Let us take a look at the given example in your module on page 17. Here is the communication breakdown. The DOST scholar uses technical words in explaining his research to the barangay officials, which resulted to confusion among them. Now, what do you think is the appropriate strategy that can be used to avoid the given communication breakdown? The given strategy is that the DOST scholar should use simple and specific words about his research to the barangay officials so they would easily understand his message. Alright, to give you enough time to do the activity, let us pause for a short break. Let us read your answers after these reminders.
For a student like you, distance learning poses many challenges. Learning all by yourself in this time of pandemic is not easy. But cheer up, young minds, for your learning buddies are here to make learning outcomes rewarding for you. Dare to discover, learn, and be more competent as we sail together in the world of education. Join us in refining your skills to reach your full potentials as a learner here at Learning Today. What's your learning today? Aha! Monitor your learning today.
We're back! Let us read your answers now. Let me read the answer of Giselle Basilio from 11 Patience. My friend is talking to me, but I am not listening because I am busy with my cell phone. Her strategy is, I should learn to listen so that I can understand what my friend is saying. That is right, Giselle. Thank you. Another answer from Kyla Sumaleng. While taking online classes, Dandy was distracted of the notifications that had popped up on his phone. Due to the distraction, Dandy didn't understand his mathematics lessons. A strategy, he should get rid of things that can distract him and he should focus and listen. Thank you very much, Kyla. You're doing great, my dear learners. Truly, communication breakdown may at times be inevitable. But with our knowledge on the concept of communication breakdown and comprehending its causes will help us avoid failure in communication. There are strategies that can be used to avoid communication breakdown. Ronnie Peterson gave us 5 ways to avoid this breakdown of communication. Kindly turn your module to page 18. I want you to read the article and answer the first 2 questions that follow on page 20. Meantime, here's a shortcut. Let us read your answers when we return.
Hi Maria! Are you done with our narrative essay in reading and writing?
No, Julia, I don't think I can make one.
Huh? But why? Were you present in our online class when our teacher discussed it?
Yes, I was.
Then why can't you make the activity?
You see, Julia, I am not good in English. It's very difficult for me to understand the language.
Did you tell our teacher about it?
No, I'm shy to tell her that I'm having a hard time.
Maria, you need to be honest. Our teacher kept on reminding us that we can send personal messages to her if we cannot understand the lessons clearly. She won't get mad, I assure you. She just wants us to be honest enough so that she'll know what to do.
You think so?
Yes, of course. That's what I did. I was able to make the activity because our teacher helped me understand the lesson. As a matter of fact, she delightedly answered all my questions.
Really? But I think I still can't.
Why are you saying you can't? Did you even try?
No.
Then try it first before saying you can't do it. Believe in yourself, Maria, because our teachers believe in us so much.
You're right, Julia. I think I should try it first before saying that it's difficult. And I also think that I should not feel scared to approach our teacher. After all, no one will help me but her. Thank you so much, Julia.
You're always welcome, Maria. But don't forget, I am also here to help you. What are friends for, right?
Thank you so much, Julia. I am so lucky to have you.
Remember, Isatians, trying is way better than quitting. A friendly reminder from Isat Radio.
Welcome back, my dear learners. Okay, let us now check your answers. What are the barriers to communication mentioned in the article? Please key in your answers in our comment section. Good job, my dear learners! Let us now move on to the second question. How can communication breakdown be avoided? Please key in your answers in the chat box. Congratulations! Your answers are correct! Now, let us see how these strategies may help people to communicate well with one another in order to avoid communication breakdown. First in the list is have clarity of thought before speaking. It is very essential for you to clearly state your message and express your ideas and feelings. Second, learn to listen. This one is very important. There are instances that everyone wants to talk simultaneously, wants to be heard, but no one dares to listen. What do you think will happen if that would be the situation? Do you think you can understand each other? Of course no. Certainly, the cited circumstance will lead to misunderstanding that causes communication breakdown. There are people out there who don't know how to listen well. It's high time for you to try and apply this strategy. Pay attention when someone is talking. If there are points that need clarification, don't be afraid to ask in polite manner. The third way is take care of your body language and tone. In other words, we must be extra careful with our verbal and non-verbal communication. Keep your emotions in check. Try to maintain eye contact and adopt a relaxed tone when conversing with others. We're down to the last two ways to avoid communication breakdown. The fourth one is build up your confidence by asking for feedback and observing others. By the way, my dear learners, why do you think confidence is important in communication? Do you agree with me when I say that confident people can communicate more effectively their message? Yes, persons who communicate with confidence can easily express and convey what they want in a clear and efficient manner. Remember, shyness or lack of confidence is a barrier to communication that causes communication breakdown. Hence, you better adopt and put into practice this fourth way to avoid communication breakdown. The last but not the least, communicate face-to-face on important issues. There are people who prefer to discuss important issues personally. They can convey their point more clearly with their body language as well as their tone of voice. Face-to-face conversation can also help to clear up misunderstandings or distortion of the message that could occur through other mediums. Alright, apart from these 5 ways of avoiding communication breakdown, can you give me more strategies to solve communication breakdown problems? Write your answer in our chat box. Wow, this is awesome! Your answers are correct. We shall go over each strategy after a short break.
Mom! What's wrong, Rika? Are you okay? Mom, my teacher asked me to do infomercial about our subject as part of our performance task. That's great! I know you can do that. I'm not sure, Mom. But why? I feel nervous, Mom. I am thinking of my schoolworks. I am not yet done in my modules. I don't even submitted my summative test. I am not sure if I have time to do it. You know, Rika, it's a matter of time management and good study habits. Time management and good study habits? What's that, Mom? Time management is the ability to use your time productively and efficiently. while good study habits are study techniques that enhance the students to realize their full potentials. Ah, now I know what to do. I will make a list of things to be done and start a good study habit. In this way, I can finish my schoolworks on time without compromising the quality of my work. You were absolutely right. When you do things without rushing, you will have the best output. Thanks, Mom. I need to go now and I will now start managing my time. Okay, Rika. Study well. Always check your priorities. A gentle reminder is a chance from 99.9 Flambeau Radio.
Hello, we're back. And here are some other strategy you may follow to avoid communication breakdown. First, keep focus. As a speaker, put in mind your purpose for communicating to others. In like manner, as a listener or receiver, you should be able to discern the purpose of the person you are communicating to. Second, speak intelligently. Use appropriate speaking volume, pitch rate, proper enunciation, stress, and acceptable pronunciation. Doing this will allow our listeners to understand what we are saying. Third, listen with your ears and eyes. In our culture as Filipinos, looking at the eyes of the speaker while talking is a sign of respect. Basically, as a listener, you should pay attention not only to what the speaker says, but also consider how she or he says it to get the intended meaning of the message. Fourth, minimize distractions. Consider finding a quiet place free from distractions to get focus and concentration rather than confusion. Fifth, be specific. Use simple and exact words so you can deliver your message straight to the point. The last but not the least, do not jump to conclusions. Before you give your comments and judgment, be sure that you have listened attentively to the speaker. Conclusions should be drawn after a thorough analysis of point given or information received. Again, other strategy to avoid communication breakdown are: keep focus, speak intelligently, listen with your ears and eyes, minimize distractions, be specific, and do not jump to conclusions. More tips on how to avoid communication breakdown are coming up next after these reminders.
Have you finished your modules yet, Jenny? I am trying to complete my EAPP module, Mom. I noticed that part of my module in all my subjects is the presence of reflection. My advisor always reminds me, though, to accomplish it no matter what. Why is that? Jenny, reflection is a powerful tool to have better learning experiences. Really, Mom? How? Doing reflection in learning is a way of allowing learners like you to step back from your learning experience, helping you to develop critical thinking skills and improve on future performance by analyzing what you have learned and how far have you reached. So, Mom, when I reflect on my learning experiences, I am given the opportunity to share my accomplishments, struggles, and moments of confusion, and that makes me more directed what to do next because I know my personal strengths and I am aware of what to focus on with my learning. In that way, my teachers will also know of the things their students need more in instruction. You got it, Jenny. Wow, not just that, Mom. I realized that doing reflection means I am in charge of my learning, and that makes me getting better each day as a student. That's my girl. A friendly reminder from the Department of Education and this station.
Welcome back, my dear learners. I hope you are still with me. Let us continue our discussion on the various strategies to avoid communication breakdown. Broom, Catlett, and Center 2012 enumerated the 7 C's of effective communication in their book, Effective Public Relations. The first C is completeness. You, as the speaker, should include everything, all pertinent details, so listener or audience will be able to grasp the intended message. Next is conciseness. The message should be direct or straight to the point, and irrelevant information should be excluded. The third C builds rapport or connection with the audience. It is consideration. In order to be effective, the speaker should give high regard and courtesy to audience background information such as his or her culture, education, religion, status, mood, feelings, and needs. The fourth C is concreteness. Back up your message with facts, figures, and real-life examples or situations so that your listener or receiver understands you better. Number 5 in the 7 C's is courtesy. The speaker can show respect to the listeners by demonstrating an understanding of their beliefs, values, and culture. This implies good choice of words and language and a consideration of the audience perspectives and feelings on the part of the sender. Another C in the 7 C's is clearness. You, as a speaker, should use simple and specific words to express ideas. You must also avoid double meanings to keep away from confusion. Lastly, to complete the 7 C's, let us have correctness. You, as a speaker, should avoid grammatical errors to show credibility and effectiveness of the message. Now, it's time for an activity. Turn your module to page 22. Let us answer activity 1 and 2. Meantime, let us pause for a short break. Let us check your answers when we return.
Flambeau Radio
Flambeau Radio.
sparks knowledge, ignites skills, sphere of flame that forges learning.
Flambeau Radio.
99.9 megahertz in your radio dial. You are tuned in to Flambeau Radio, the campus radio of the Isabela School of Arts and Trades, the prime mover of textbook education in the Cagayan Valley region. Now connecting to the community via sound waves to expand its reach to the 21st century learners.
Flambeau Radio
Is a channel that broadcasts lessons of the Department of Education to enrich teaching and learning process, hoisting the flagship of enduring education, believing that our future rests on the hands of our youth. Flambeau Radio.
Flambeau Radio, at your service in education.
Okay, are you done? Let's check your answers. Activity 1 is matching type. You're going to match column A with the best answer in column B. Number 1. It refers to the use of simple and precise words. What's your answer? If your answer is letter B, you are correct. B is specific. Moving on to number 2. The speaker should identify his or her purpose for speaking. What's your answer? It's letter A. Keep focus. Number 3. He or she must pay attention to the verbal and non-verbal cues. What's your answer? It is letter E. Listen with your ears and eyes. How about number 4? He or she must find closed areas or quiet place to avoid communication breakdown. What's your answer? It's letter F. Minimize distractions. And for the last item, he or she must have an appropriate speaking volume, speech rate, and acceptable enunciation. What's your answer? You are right. It's letter D. Speak intelligibly. Now, let us answer activity 2. You are going to identify what 7 C's to effective communication is being described. Number 1. It helps to increase the credibility of the speaker and reduce negative impact to the audience. What is your answer? The answer for this one is correctness. Number 2. It conveys all pertinent details so listener or audience will be able to grasp the intended message. What's your answer? You are correct. Completeness. Moving on to number 3. It is expressed in the least possible number of words and is straight to the point. What's your answer? Conciseness is correct. Number 4. It implies good choice of words and language and a consideration of the audience perspectives and feelings on the part of the sender. What's your answer? It's courtesy. Number 5. It is backed up by facts, figures, and real-life examples or situations. What is your answer? Concreteness is correct. You're doing great, my dear learners. Thank you for your active participation. Rest assured that your teachers will be monitoring all of your answers because that will also serve as your attendance for today. I think you are now ready to work on your What I Have Learned activity on page 23 of your module. Write your answer on a separate sheet of paper. Don't forget to write your complete name and section. Label Module 3, Lesson 2 at the topmost part of your paper. In addition, answer the assessment part later on. We're finally done discussing the various strategies to avoid communication breakdown. Before we end up this episode, let us wrap up what we have learned today. Breakdown in communication may arise because of several factors, but these factors may be avoided if we follow strategies put forward by experts in the field. So, what are these strategies again? We have Ronnie Peterson's 5 ways to avoid communication breakdown. First, have clarity of thought before speaking. Second, learn to listen. Third, take care of your body language and tone. Fourth, build up your confidence by asking for feedback and observing others. Fifth, communicate face-to-face on the important issues. Other strategies are keep focus, speak intelligibly, listen with your ears and eyes, minimize distractions, be specific, and do not jump to conclusions. Finally, I have introduced to you the 7 C's of effective communication by Broom, Catlip, and Center 2012. These are completeness, conciseness, consideration, concreteness, courtesy, clearness, and correctness. A smooth and successful communication transaction may result if we follow these strategies to avoid communication breakdown. Communication becomes successful if and only if our communication goal is achieved. That is, an understanding is reached and a relationship is built or maintained. That concludes our learning episode for today, my dear 21st century learners. I hope you had a great learning experience with me on air. On behalf of my oral communication teacher partners, Mom Roseanne Ganyan, Mom Michelle Bayucan, and Mom Ines Telan, and the entire Flambo Radio production team, this has been Ma'am Nichar Umengan. Thank you for listening. Please stay safe, study well, and may God bless us all. Until our next learning episode, goodbye, my dear learners.
Flambo Radio
Flambo Radio.
sparks knowledge, ignites skills, sphere of flame that forges learning.
Flambo Radio.
99.9 megahertz in your radio dial. You are tuned in to Flambo Radio, the campus radio of the Isabela School of Arts and Trades, the prime mover of TechVoc education in the Cagayan Valley region. Now connecting to the community via sound waves to expand its reach to the 21st century learners.
Flambo Radio.
Is a channel that broadcasts lessons of the Department of Education to enrich teaching and learning process, hoisting the flagship of enduring education, believing that our future rests on the hands of our youth. Flambo Radio.
Flambo Radio. At your service in education.